生田さん、こんなところで寝ていて大丈夫ですか？
おう、安心してよ。どこで寝ていてもベッドの右半分はいつも君のために残してあるから。
Hey everybody, welcome to another lesson of learning Japanese. Today we got another anime line of the day. We're taking a line from the show Alderamin on the Sky. Not too sure what the Japanese title is. And that line is going to be, don't worry, no matter where I sleep, I'll always have the right side of the bed saved just for you. Or as it's said in Japanese in the actual episode we're taking it from, Anshin shite yo, doko de nete ite mo beddo no migi hanbun wa itsu kimi no tame ni nokoshite aru kara.
安心してよ。どこで寝ていてもベッドの右半分はいつも君のために残してあるから。
Alright, so arguably the most important line we've ever covered on a need-to-know basis. We are going to break this line down word by word, but of course first what we're going to do is we're going to cover the vocabulary. So just jumping into our vocabulary list here, we're going to start off with the word anshin, which is a verbal noun as well as an adjective. It is going to basically translate to like calm or relieved or yeah, something along those lines. So anshin suru will mean basically to calm down or to be relieved. Next up, we're gonna have the very basic verb word neru, which means to sleep. The most common word used to mean to sleep, so definitely a need to know word right there. Next up, we have the word hanbun, which is going to translate to basically half. Then finally, we're going to end this vocabulary list with another verb word, nokosu, which is going to mean basically to leave something. That might not give the right connotation. By leave, we basically mean to reserve something, to leave it in some kind of state, intentionally basically. This is a transitive verb, as opposed to the intransitive version, nokoru, which means basically to be left. And alright, it's going to cover it for all of the vocabulary words that we need to know. Let's jump into this actual sentence now so we can start using it ASAP.
安心してよ。どこで寝ていてもベッドの右半分はいつも君のために残してあるから。
So this line's actually two sentences. The first sentence is a pretty simple utterance. It's just the words anshin shite yo. This is the first vocabulary word that we had, anshin, used as a verbal noun here. So anshin suru, like I said, means to calm down, to become relieved. It's being used in the kind of command form, not necessarily command form, but a version of a command form, the te form of the verb. So anshin suru turns into anshin shite, and this is basically telling someone to do that verb. So calm down, yeah, calm down, and then it's just going to end the sentence with the particle yo right there to give a little more emphasis, and that's the whole sentence right there.
安心してよ。
That's not really the important part of the sentence because it's just a simple utterance. The actual bulk is in the next sentence. So let's jump right into that. Starting off with Doko, we should know what this word means. Of course, it means where. We are going to have right after that the particle de to basically be the location marker denoting where an action takes place. And because it's doing that, we can expect a verb to show up. And one does show up right after here with the verb neru, to sleep. This is also in its te form, because it's being used in the grammar pattern that is basically the te form plus the verb iru to basically denote an ongoing action or state. So basically, where am sleeping, doko de nete ite, where am sleeping. But that sounds a bit unnatural yet because we're not done analyzing it. We have another kind of grammar pattern being stacked onto that, and that is the te form of a verb plus the particle mo to mean like no matter what doing that verb, or it doesn't matter if you do that verb or something along those lines. When we evaluate it with what we've covered so far, it makes more sense. Doko de nete ite mo is kind of like no matter where I am sleeping, or yeah, I think that's the best translation for it. No matter where I am sleeping. We can just naturalize that into no matter where I sleep. We don't have to do that ongoing action in the translation because it still maintains the effect if we just say sleep as opposed to am sleeping.
どこで寝ていても。
So let's move on. Right after the particle mo, we have the katakana word beddo, and this is just going to mean bed, the English word for bed. It is going to be part of a noun modification, and the second noun in that modification is hanbun, our next vocabulary word, which means half. But actually, it's not just hanbun, it's migi hanbun. So migi is the word that means right. So migi hanbun is basically going to mean the right half. That makes more sense when you look at it as a part of the noun of noun modification. So the right half of what? The right half of beddo. So the right half of the bed, or the right side of the bed. We're going to mark that with the particle wa. A bit confusing with the usage of that there, because the right side of the bed, migi hanbun, is actually going to be the direct object. And right after a while we see the phrasing itsumo, which is just going to translate to basically always, a very common word slash phrase. After that we have the word kimi, which is the second person pronoun. That means basically you. It's commonly used by basically husbands to refer to their wives, so the person speaking here is kind of playing off of that relationship even though they don't have it, so he's kind of joking. We have the particle no again because we're instigating another noun of noun modification with kimi as the first noun, and tame is going to be the second one. Tame is a grammar pattern and word that means basically sake here. It's kind of being used as a grammar pattern, but it's pretty a simple instance of it. It's just basically being used with a noun as opposed to a verb clause. So kimi no tame ni is going to basically be for your sake. Yeah, something like that, for you.
beddo no migi hanbun wa itsumo kimi no tame ni.
And then we're gonna end the sentence here with the final words nokoshite aru kara. So nokoshite is the te form of the verb. Our vocabulary word, our last one, nokosu, which means basically to leave, to reserve. It's gonna mean its te form plus the aru word there, and that is a grammar pattern in and of itself. The te form of a verb plus aru means basically something is done and it's intentionally left there to be in that state. I do not believe we've covered that grammar pattern yet, but we probably will in the future because yeah. So te form plus aru means the verb is done and it's like kind of left in that state intentionally. It's pretty similar to the te form plus iru, but slightly different. Just something worth noting here that may make it a bit confusing: this grammar pattern te aru is only used with transitive verbs, so it is a bit confusing how we're not using the direct object marker o with the thing that is being used with this grammar pattern, the right side of the bed. It's being used with the particle wa instead. Basically, when you're using this grammar pattern, you're gonna most commonly see it in being used with the particles ga or wa, even though the kind of thing being used with that particle is the direct object. There are some cases where there will be the direct object marker o is usable, but for the most part, the ga or wa is more common. And then we're going to end the sentence for good now with the conjunction, kind of, but it's not really being used as a conjunction here. It's being used as just an ender, kara, to mean because. So it's saying this whole sentence right here is the reason why she shouldn't worry, since the first sentence was don't worry.
安心してよ。どこで寝ていてもベッドの右半分はいつも君のために残してあるから。
And so yeah, we just learned how to say don't worry, no matter where I sleep, I'll always have the right side of the bed saved just for you. And if you want to, you can tailor that sentence a bit. Maybe you want to say the left side of the bed, or something else that isn't quite the same at all. So before we end this one, we're gonna just rehash the grammar patterns that we came across in this line. We got the te form right there to basically be telling someone to do something. We have the te form plus iru to represent basically ongoing action. We have noun and noun modifications, and then we have the tame grammar pattern, tame ni, and then lastly we have the te form verb plus aru to mean to do that verb and to like leave it in that state intentionally. So yeah, it's a couple of grammar patterns right there to throw at you alongside this very, very useful line, right?
生田さん、こんなところで寝ていて大丈夫ですか？
安心してよ。どこで寝ていてもベッドの右半分はいつも君のために残してあるから。
Alright, that's gonna wrap it up for this episode of Anime Line of the Day. Remember, if there were grammar patterns mentioned for this line, they'll be mentioned in the description or the pinned comment below with links to the individual lessons on them. You can also probably find them in the playlist of our complete grammar video series shown on the screen right here alongside our anime playlist. And last but not least, don't forget to try to translate the bonus line we provided. Leave your translation in a comment below. Check out our Patreon, like the video, and subscribe. With all that said and done, see you next time.